Welcome back, Kleschka Crew, to another episode of Kleschka Picks Thanksgiving edition. I'm very thankful for all of you that are subscribed and tuning into all the videos, leaving a like, telling your friends and family. I really appreciate every single one of you. And I am also very sorry. I know I missed an episode of Kleschka Picks last week. I was very busy coming back from New York, getting all those vlogs out, which are very funny. You should check out. And I've done enough rambling. Let's get into it. Let's roll the intro. Obviously, with this being a Thanksgiving edition, we are going to have the Thanksgiving football games. And if there's going to be Thanksgiving football, there's going to be the Detroit Lions going up against the Green Bay Packers. Classic rivalry. The Packers won last week, winning late in the game against the Chargers. We'll talk about them much later when we get to their game. And the Lions, they pulled off a comeback win. They have been very impressive throughout the whole season. And I think that continues because even in Jared Goff's worst game of the year, they still pulled off a victory. It was against the Bears, but this Lions team is different. Things are changing. This defense is good, and I think we're going to see the Packers return to the kind of mid status that we've seen a little bit this year. So I believe the Lions put the pressure on them on Thanksgiving, and I believe their offense carries, and I think they win pretty handily over the Packers, and I think they win the first game on Thanksgiving 27-17. Next up on the Thanksgiving dinner plate, we have the Cowboys and the Commanders. The Cowboys easily beat the Panthers, as most teams have this year. And the Commanders, they lost to the Giants. The Commanders, whenever they go up against an team, they always seem to play way worse. But when they play against a team that is known to be one of the best in all of football, they always seem to have better games. I don't get it. I guess, competition breeds competition. But the Cowboys defense has been very good this whole year. And I think they will put the Commanders in their place. I think it will not be as much of a blowout as people are thinking because, like I said, the Commanders just play better against better teams for some reason. I still think the Cowboys in their offense and defense as a duo is too strong, so give me the Cowboys winning this one 24-17. And to finish off Thursday, we have the Seahawks, my Seahawks, against the 49ers. My Seahawks lost last week against the Rams, had the chance to win it with the Jason Myers field goal, but he missed that, and that resulted in an L, unfortunately. And then the 49ers, they easily took care of the Buccaneers. They are back to the way they were before their losing streak, clicking with Brock Purdy at quarterback, McCaffrey getting involved with the end zone as he has most of the season, and I think it is going to be very hard for my Seahawks to stop this 49ers team, especially since we got some injuries last week to Geno Smith, Kenneth Walker. I think the 49ers are going to have no problem with us, and I think they're going to win 30-20. The NFL's very first Black Friday game is the Jets and the Dolphins. The Dolphins won last week. Jalen Ramsey got a game-sealing interception against the Raiders, and the Jets have just looked garbage as the season goes on. They were blown out by the Buffalo Bills, and I think they will get destroyed again here by a high-powered offense with Tua Tagovailoa, Tyreek Hill, and all the weapons they have in Miami. So give me the Dolphins obliterating New York 38-13. It is not going to be a very happy Black Friday for the New York Jets. Saints and Falcons, both teams were on bye weeks last week. These teams play in the same division. I believe the Saints are the better team. The Falcons are just switching quarterbacks like nobody's business, going back to Desmond Ridder after they went away from Desmond Ridder earlier, putting Taylor Heineke in there. He's back. And now the Saints, I believe their offense is better. I believe they got a solid defense. And I don't think they're going to blow every team out of the water, but I do think they will be in control, especially against teams like the Falcons. So give me the Saints winning this one 24-17. Steelers and Bengals. The Bengals lost last week to the Ravens on Thursday Night Football, and they didn't just take the L as a team. They took a huge loss in losing Joe Burrow for the rest of the season. It is going to be Jake Browning going for the Bengals. And the Steelers, they lost to the Browns, and their defense is obviously one of the best parts of their team, and their offense could actually finally get going because Matt Canada, offensive coordinator, has been fired. So it's going to be a new new regime there for the Steelers offense, and maybe things will change so drastically we're going to see them actually start scoring more than 13 points a game, because they score very low offensively when that offense is looking to use its weapons like Najee Harris and George Pickens. In this game, a young team with tons of talent needs that offense to just get going, and the defense is already doing its job. It's keeping other teams to low scores, and I think that'll be the case this week. I think the offense finds a new stride. I think the defense led by TJ Watt is definitely going to shut down the Bengals with Jake Browning at the helm. So give me the Steelers winning this one 23-19. Jags and Texans, this matchup is actually exciting for once. The Jags last week destroyed the Titans. Trevor Lawrence was looking good, and CJ Stroud has looked good for the last couple weeks. He is finally hitting his stride in the NFL. They beat the Cardinals, and I think this is going to be a very entertaining game. It's going to go back and forth. I think we are going to see CJ Stroud and Trevor Lawrence just go absolutely nutty, throwing tons of yards, touchdowns, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It might be one of the best games of the week. So I think just based off the hot streak that CJ Stroud is on, I believe him and the Houston Texans are going to beat the Jaguars 31-27. Colts and Buccaneers. The Colts were on a bye week last week. The Buccaneers were destroyed by the 49ers. The Colts, their defense is pretty solid, and even when they lose, they score a lot of points. So as long as the other team can be shut down, then I think the Colts actually have good opportunities to win games. And I think the Buccaneers are one of those teams that their defense will be able to handle, cause problems, and I think the Colts offense will do enough to get the job done and win this game just barely, winning 27-24. Giants and Patriots, I got this as my battle of mid for the week, and I've decided every battle of mid I pick for the rest of the season, we're just not going to talk about it that much because it's mid. What's the point? I'm giving this one to the Giants, 27-20. Let's move on. Titans and Panthers, this is another one that could be considered very mid, but the Panthers are just garbage. They were beat by the Cowboys last week, and even though the Titans have been very cold the last 2 weeks, I think they finally get it going again against probably the worst team in football right now. So give me the Titans getting back on track, winning this one 27-13. Rams and Cardinals, the Rams hung on last week against my Seahawks because Jason Myers missed that field goal, and the Cardinals have Kyler Murray back, but they took the L last week. Kyler Murray actually has not looked too bad coming back from his injury, but I think the Rams defense is going to put him back down on earth. I think their offense is going to get the job done because they do get Kyron Williams back this week, who was huge for them early in the year, and it was definitely their workhorse running back. And with Cooper Kupp out, that could be not much of a problem because Puka Nacua was going crazy when Cooper Kupp was injured. But if he does play, you got Cooper Kupp and you got Puka Nacua. That offense will succeed, and I think it'll succeed very well against the Cardinals and their poor defense. So give me the Rams winning 30-20. Chiefs and Raiders. The Raiders were so close against the Dolphins last week, but they did take an L, and the Chiefs were also so close, but Patrick Mahomes cannot carry the whole team by himself. His receivers had to help him out, and they were not. They took the L to the Eagles. I think we see the Chiefs get back to form, find their way again, get hot again, get dominant against the Raiders, and that offense is going to have a huge day. So I believe the Chiefs win 31-14. Browns and Broncos. The Browns won last week mainly due to their defense performing very strong against a very poor Steelers offense. And then the Broncos, they beat the Vikings late in the game last week. Russell Wilson to Cortland Sutton to win the game. They've both been on hot streaks. They've both been very impressive and underrated this year. And I think the only reason the Browns are going to win this game is because of their defense. It has been pretty good. And no matter who they put in quarterback, they've been able to be competitive. And I think they slow down the Broncos in their tracks and win 24-17. Eagles and Bills. The Eagles pulled off a massive W in Arrowhead, beating the Chiefs last week. And the Bills, they stampeded all over the New York Jets, which has not been a tough task for most teams. And the Eagles, they did not look the most dominant last week, but they were playing one of the league's best teams in the Chiefs. I think they get back to using A.J. Brown, one of the most dominant receivers in the league. And I think their rush defense has been very good all year. Their secondary's been a little iffy, but I think it's improving. And I think with both sides of the defense getting back to that normality, I think we are going to see the Bills return to what we've seen lately, and that is struggling, having problems. And I think it's going to be a big headache for Josh Allen. And I think the Eagles win this one 20 28-23. Ravens and Chargers. The Ravens beat the Bengals last week, and the Chargers, they lost at Lambeau Field. They were frustrated. Justin Herbert was doing everything he could. He was hitting his open receivers. They were not catching the ball, and their defense just gives up way too many points. I think this week we're going to see the Ravens absolutely go crazy with their ground game, and they are going to tear apart this Chargers defense. So give me the Ravens winning this one 34-24. Vikings and Bears, both of these teams lost in a heartbreaking fashion late in the game last week. Bears to the Lions, Vikings to the Broncos. I think the Vikings are going to be looking better coming into this week, though. I think they'll get back to a dominant offense with Josh Dobbs, who surprisingly has been one of the best stories this year in the NFL. Traded from the Cardinals to the Vikings. He steps in, barely knows anybody, and he's been a great leader for this team. Justin Fields returns for the Bears last week, gets the L, and I don't think he is going to look too good here against the Vikings. I think their defense has actually been pretty solid the last couple of weeks, so I think they're going to put it on them. I think the Bears defense is going to easily be giving up points to Josh Dobbs in the offense. So give me the Vikings winning this one 27-20. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this week of Kleschka Picks. I hope you have a very good Thanksgiving, and I want you to comment down below what you are thankful for. Like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. I got this, you got this, we all got this, and I will see you next time. I think the turkey's ready. I'm going to get myself some pumpkin pie and some stuffing. See ya.